Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining me for another Scream Queens review. Today I will be reviewing Season 2, Episode 3, titled Handidates. And as always, there will be some episode spoilers. And I thought overall this was a pretty average episode, which actually was somewhat saved by the ending. The ending was pretty surprising, although I'm not really sure ultimately if this surprise ending will be good or bad for the show in the future. So this episode started kind of where last week left off with the Chanels and the Dean basically getting rid of the monster man's body, and then we get another killing and another visit with Hester where nothing much really happens, although she is coming to live in the hospital, it looks like, by the end of the episode, so maybe Hester's storyline will pick up a little bit. We can only hope. Then Chad and Dr. Holt are still going at it. They don't like each other very much. They accuse each other of being the killer, and they're still fighting over Chanel throughout the episode, which is fine because it does lead to something at the end. Also, Chanel number 3 and Dr. Cascade are getting closer. We learn more about Dr. Cascade. After he was kind of absent last episode, we do get a closer look, some backstory on him, and he says that he's actually dead, but somehow he can still breathe and he's still alive. And he says he became a doctor to find out how any of this makes sense. And surprisingly, Chanel number 3 seems mostly okay with this, I guess, because she's Chanel number 3. It kind of fits her character in a strange way. There's also a scene where the Dean, the Chanels, Denise, who's back, and Zayday, who doesn't get a lot of screen time this episode, actually. They visit this nurse who says he knows who the killer is, but basically the Dean's not buying it. She accuses Chad, who is acting very strange in this episode, although heads up, I don't think the killer's Chad by what we learn at the end of the episode. So Chad at this point trying to do best Dr. Holt or get one up on him, however you want to look at it, asks Chanel Oberlin to marry him, and she's pretty excited and says yes. Then he goes a step further by asking Dr. Holt to be his best man. Dr. Holt is definitely not happy about any of this, and but he does agree to be the best man. Whether he has ulterior motives or not, we're not yet really sure, but my guess is he probably does. So there's also this subplot in this episode with this yoga teacher. I really wasn't wild about it too much. She predictably gets killed off at the end of the episode. I didn't really think these scenes were very funny, and she just seemed kind of like a plot device. Uh, Basically to give more screen time to Chanel number 3 and Dr. Cascade. But their scenes were pretty entertaining, so ultimately no harm, no foul on that, I guess. So ultimately this episode ends with the shocker, where we're going to have the wedding between Chad and Chanel Oberlin, one of the quickest planned weddings in history. But it turns out that it looks like Chad Radwell really is a goner, as we see his body kind of fall through the ceiling, and I don't think there's really any way he could have survived, even though this show likes to mislead. Now, while this surprise kind of saves the episode and brings some momentum to more events happening throughout the season, until I see more episodes, I'm not really sure if this is a good or a bad twist, for the simple fact that Chad Radwell was a very entertaining character. So we'll have to see if this pays off in a positive way or not. But for now, I will give it the benefit of the doubt and give Handidates a 3 out of 5. Mostly due to the shock ending, and other than that, the episode was okay. It was watchable. So a 3 out of 5 for Handidates, and as always, thank you very much for watching.